Boys Kick-Ass Podcast. Your Fight Talk Authority. Not to mention the most entertaining and talked about podcast with your kick-ass host, Richard ORTIZ.
You mad? Come at me, bro.
And his loyal kick-ass co-host, Senor Cole Escovedo. Streaming live and worldwide. Coming to you all the way live from a little place somewhere in Cali. The Fighter's Voice Kick-Ass Podcast.
And we're live, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Richard ORTIZ of the Fighter's Voice Kick-Ass Podcast. Normally, Cole Escovedo will be with us, but he's going to join us in progress. He's in the middle of something, and you know what? I think he's getting ready to just choke somebody out. But, you know, let's jump right into it, man. I mean, tonight's show was going to be just a collaboration of us three, and we'll continue to want to do that, and we're going to do that this evening as Cole joins us. And I'm going to introduce him for the first time, ladies and gentlemen, as the host in the Stockton studio, the Fighter's Voice, one and only Mr. Shelly Hollis. How we doing, Shelly?
Good, man. No, we're chilling. You know what I mean? Can't wait till we all in the studio next year, 2021. Because this shit right here has been a lot on us.
Oh, yeah, man. Actually, I'm going to steal that hashtag from you earlier. It's the punches you don't see. I like that.
Hey, man, that's that good old 209. I got a little Nick and Nate in that bag right there. You know?
Oh, there you go.
That's that knockout shit. That's that Stockton slap right there.
That is the slap. Yeah, that's a pretty good slap from what I'm hearing, man. I need to slap my knees with that stuff. But no, man, last night we had a good show last night. We had Fernando Vargas Sr. and the legend in boxing, and then the new generation in the Vargas family, Fernando Vargas Jr., along with his two other boys that will be joining us sometime in the future. And what we did, Shelly, is we gave him a platform that you normally don't get. Right. We talked maybe 30% boxing. We talked 70% life, but 100% true, and we kept it real from right off the gate, man. And you got to know a little more about Fernando Vargas, the man, the family man, the husband, and the coach as well. So go ahead.
It's always been about that. I think that's why I'm so drawn to this. The Fighter's Voice want to join the team too, man. It's just like, that's what you give, is you give that platform for them to say what's on their mind and what they're going through. And that shit is dope. It's different, because the questions that you see on TV are always so cliche. It's like the same scripted shit all the time. And it's like, I want to get to know the person that I've become like a fan of, you know what I mean? So that's why I appreciate what you do, dude.
Hey, man, we take the handcuffs off over here, man. I mean, when we catch that corporate vibe, we'll handle it as we go, because there's nothing but like X's and O's and T's and I's, man.
So we're gonna be arguing like Tim Bradley and Andre Ward?
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. We got to, man.
Hey, Tim be killing me. Shout out to Tim Bradley. I did get to meet that dude out there in Fresno, but dude, Tim be killing me this year.
No, hey, I like him, man. I mean, that he's kind of grown into that stuff, and it wouldn't be a show unless they bumped heads or crossed each other.
Right. Yeah. Of course, they got their little Skip and Shannon, Max, and what's up boy's name? Oh, Stephen A. You know what I mean? They got their little stuff.
Yeah. Then you got Joe Tess over there, and behind the camera. I mean, in front of the camera is you got Bernardo Osuna, Hall of Famer, a bilingual commentator as well, man. So they got a great team at ESPN / Top Rank Boxing. But what they don't got, and what they are missing, is the Fighter's Voice featuring Top Rank Boxing ESPN, man. It has a great ring to it. We'll be able to get in-depth, real interviews, which is what the people want, man. I mean, because you got ESPN1, you got ESPN2, man. And wait till they come out with ESPN 69 with the Fighter's Voice, keeping it real on there, man. We're going to call it adults only.
Yeah, put our shit on the late night, like infomercials and Fighter's Voice. You got to put us there.
Absolutely, man. Because
I want Ring Girl. All right, everything that we seen with that shit when Snoop was commentating, I want that whole thing. I want performances, smoke, Ring Girls. I want cakes. I want all that shit then.
That's the power of freedom. That's the power of being the CEO of your own corporation, man, and having a great team around you. Sky's the limit. And like you said, we'll deal with that phone call once we get it that says, hey, I like what you guys are doing, but can we make it clean for TV? I said, well, we could make it for TV. I don't know about clean, because what you see is what you get. We'll keep it professional as always.
Tell them, man. Even condoms are only 99.9%. You know what I mean? That's as good as we can get. We'll wrap it up a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. People want realism, man. They want the truth, and they want it black and white. You know, I mean, you know, we can rainbow it all up and make it look all nice and stuff, but you know, they want the real stuff, and that's what's selling. That's what people tune into, because they'll rather have you tell the truth than like, okay, well, you kind of cheesed up once the camera was going.
Nah, that's true. That's true. I just watched Terrence Crawford. He's with some guys and stuff like that. They're still he's still getting a lot of questions about the whole Bob Arum thing. You know what I mean? And I like Terrence because Terrence does exactly that. Now, one day we'll get that dude on. That's somebody that always keeps it real on interviews.
He does right off the gate, and he'll let you know right off the gate, because I've watched the interview with him and Max, and he said he put Max and you know, he called him on his shit, you know, plain and simple. You know, he said, you're an educated man, but I'm educated just as well, man. And when it comes to street smarts.
So Rich, with that, like you've talked, what fighters, when you're around them, are always the same? You can see it. They're the same when you interview with them, the same when you see them in their personal life. I know you run across a lot of characters, man, but who always keeps the shit real with you? No
other than, hands down, Robert Garcia, man. I mean, if you don't want to hear the truth, don't ask him a question.
Right.
I mean he will even tell on himself. I mean, that's all real. He keeps it. And, you know, much respect to Robert Garcia. He feels comfortable when he's with us, and he lets loose, man. Yeah.
Hey, so how far, I mean, everybody, you know, like you talk about corporate, we said that too, man, but like how comfortable or how good at what you do before you can start acting like Robert Garcia?
You know what? It's just getting your comfort zone. It's just being yourself, man. It's being yourself. And basically, Robert Garcia don't give a shit.
Right. But I mean,
simple, period. The way he is, these big company corporates, they call him. They call him.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's where I want to be. I'm not gonna bullshit at all. I'm still a good dude, but I want to be in that position where I'm like, yo, I keep the lights on in this bitch. What's up? Without being in that corner, it's the dark corner, and then it's my corner. That's it.
Hey, man, everybody has a story to tell and a true story to tell, and you know, so just let everybody know that we can do those TV interviews, done them before, and can continue to do them. Don't get me wrong, with the likes of Lee Samuels, you know, I'll start letting loose when Bob Arum lets loose, and that'll be easy. That'll probably be the second sentence, because he's not shy to let everybody know exactly what he stands for and who he is. But at the end of the day, people want to feel comfortable, and they want to know it's a platform that's well respected. And when you bring truth, you can't help but respect the truth.
Okay, with promoters right now, you talk about Bob Arum and stuff, you know, it's about speaking it up. Man, who do you feel personally? Like, okay, right now, shit, if you're a fighter, who's promoting you?
I'm a free agent like Mikey Garcia, like Andre Ward, like Mayweather. I'm working with all of them. I'm working with Eddie Hearns. I'm working with Bob Arum. I'm working with the legendary Al Heyman. The list goes on, man. I mean, I'll even do a show for Don King if he wants to, and we'll do a collaboration, man. But definitely got to be in charge. But, you know, all of them started somewhere, and I can't knock any of them. I can tell you I like what Top Rank is doing with the collaboration with ESPN, but I like what PBC is doing, because they're putting their fighters out there. They're not nourishing them. They're putting them in the dogfight right off the gate. And Eddie Hearn, hey, he'll go across and come right back, man. I mean, you know, he's definitely global.
Right, he's global. And then one thing I like about Eddie Hearn too, man, Eddie Hearn, man, his storytelling ability. That man can sell a fucking fight, dude. And I think that's what's phasing out with some of the older dudes like Arum and shit like that. I don't know, maybe they lost their juice for when they were younger, you know, that energy changed. But man, fucking Hearn, he sells it, dude. Sells it.
Well, not only that, I mean, those days of yesteryear that all our deals are done in the office, oh, that's all bullshit. They're done as we're walking to our car. Because we're setting it up and we're keeping it real, as if to say, TFVoice, let Eddie Hearn know, hey, 10 million, I'll fight. What's the name? And he's having a conversation right there. He said, well, I want to get something to the effect like get in trouble for poaching you on the contract. Dad said, what contract? We control this. You know, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, if you don't promote yourself, who is? Who else is asking Eddie Hearn for 10 million for their client? If he doesn't go out there and market himself, a quiet mouth doesn't get heard or fed, man. You got to go out there and make it happen.
That's the thing they were whole bitching about with what you just said, promoting yourself. They're bitching about Crawford, right? The Crawford's not that dude. He's very family, laid back, chill, fisherman and shit like that. But man, how do you sell his story?
Plain and simple. He said it best. He said, don't hate me because I was born rich. I can't help it. You know, I mean, I was born rich. What do you want me to do? And he says it. He said, I've never had hardship. I've never had this or that. But he's an educated man, and he knows what the people want, what the fans want. And he's not afraid to bring them up from the ground up. Even though he's never had a day in his life without missing a meal or knowing what it's like to get that 24-hour notice on your PG&E, he's still fucking with us. He doesn't have to. He can go do something else and pull some Donald Trump over there somewhere. But no, he's keeping it real, and he's a promoter, and he's doing a good job.
Okay, so from a promoter standpoint, in boxing, if you had somebody like Terrence Crawford, how would you promote him yourself?
Oh, definitely, man. I definitely give Terrence Crawford the fights that he needs. When I say needs, to be a household name, to make history, where your kids are talking about Terrence Crawford, not just during that era that went by. And right now, I wouldn't want Terrence Crawford to be best known for, well, you know what? He never fought Spence. He never fought one of the top contenders, big pay-per-view event. He never fought his buddy Showtime Porter. He never fought Keith Thurman. And no, man. Even I mean, look at the names that I'm naming. He hasn't fought any of them, and I wonder why. If you are truly the best, and I know it's not up to him because he backs it up with what he has, his strengths, his expertise, ring generalship. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, top rank, put him in there with them dogs. Dare him to be great. Make him see what it feels like to get up from a knockdown, or how to rally from being behind on the scorecards, like the Sugar Ray Leonards, the Tommy Hearns, Roberto Durans, the Marvin Haglers. If not, you've just been catered to. And I understand when you got a Ferrari, you keep it clean. You want to invest in it by not your compa changing the oil, but you're taking it where the oil needs to be changed. Hey, man, Terrence Crawford, let him get in there, man. Let him mix it up with the greatest. They all did. Camacho did it. All of them did it.
So I look at TC as like a Hearns, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's how he reminds me, man. Oh, speaking of that, see, I don't have the recollection of that. Man, what was it like? Like, how was Hearns and fighters like that marketed back then?
Oh, I mean, the marketability was done by the promotion team because we were so thirsty for fights. We didn't have the whole we didn't have the WBO at all. I mean, it was mainly the WBA and the WBC. IBF started getting recognition. At first, it introduced itself, but now you got so many bouts, you got so many fighters and so many crown champions that I'm not saying it doesn't mean anything, but when only a few have that bout or only an opportunity to fight for that bout, it goes a long way. What Tommy had was, he knew coming out of the Olympics, I mean, turning pro, he didn't fight in the Olympics. He got eliminated by Aaron Pryor. He didn't have the gold medal. So him and Emmanuel Stewart sat down and said, okay, Sugar Ray Leonard's getting all the prestige. He's getting all the hype, all the money. He goes, we got to develop something different, which Tommy was never a knockout puncher. But going into the pros, Emmanuel Stewart says, we got to get some knockouts. We got to give the fans what they want. And he had this string of knockouts and the right hand. He actually, a lot of people wanted him to keep his left hand up. He left it down on purpose to bait him in and to drop the right hand.
Oh, okay. See, yeah, that was me.
And that's from Emmanuel Stewart's mouth himself. That's me sitting down and talking to Emmanuel Stewart. That's me talking to Emmanuel Stewart on the telephone. I mean, a lot of people, I can say that and they're probably rolling their eyes or whatever, but the truth is the truth, man. We'll do some research and get those old, because back in the day, you had to pay the high bills, man, calling Detroit. You know what I mean? You didn't have the plans and all that stuff. And I've had some conversation of us that's been recorded too. So the late great Emmanuel Stewart, yes, sir.
Yeah, so you've been around a lot of trainers too. Speaking of that, if you had one trainer in your corner, who was it going to be?
Oh, damn. See, you put me on the spot there.
I have to, man, because you got
No. How about a team there?
Get on the line when
you know what? Okay, let me see. It'd be Emmanuel Stewart. That's the great answer, and that's a safe answer right now.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But if I could put together a team, I'd definitely have damn, man. I'd have Freddie Roach, Robert Garcia. I have two cut man. I'd have Stitch, and I'd have Mike Rodriguez.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your fighting style?
Probably Freddie Roach, more of a boxer.
More of a boxer.
If I knew I was going to try to get in there and blaze, it'd be definitely Robert Garcia. But a boxer puncher like Sugar Ray Leonard,
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
You said with TFVoice, I was just in my car. I was listening to Shakur. Like I said, it didn't touch on it. We talked about him and Andre Ward kind of doing their own thing. Maybe Ward's focusing more on his professional life as far as a commentator. and things like that. And probably just assumes he doesn't need any more help. But that kid's trying to rock some shit out this next year. And that's one thing I love about him and TFVoice. Like, he's already looking at we got Herring, right? Herring's fighting next.
Yeah.
He already wants the winner out of that. And then he's looking out for the kid who's fighting Oscar Valdez, which he's already assuming that he's going to win. What do you think about that fight coming up?
I like that fight. I mean, you know what? These kids, they come along every so often. And you can't knock anybody for predicting the future nowadays, because you got to think of two warriors that walk in the cage in the ring, and that's Conor McGregor and that's Teofimo Lopez. He spoke it into existence. And I went to a press conference, and Shakur Stevenson wasn't the champion yet. He was there as a guest watching the fight for Terrence Crawford, but he said, "Hey, I'm ready now." I mean, he was maybe 8 fights in, but he said, "I'm ready now." And a lot of people, they didn't knock it, but they're just like, okay, this kid has confidence. But there was a different look on him when he said it, because he meant it.
Like Floyd was doing.
Exactly. And I believe Floyd won the bout in what was his 12th fight, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, something similar to that, yes. And see, when he won the bout, he fought for the WBC bout, Chiquinita Hernandez, and on his shorts, he already had the WBC patch on there. And I remember Larry Merchant, he said something derogatory like, "Oh, that is stupid," or having that patch. Like, I already won. You know, like when who was the wide receiver, and he put he'd go in there and put the Hall of Fame jacket on before he's been conducted in the Hall of Fame. You know, he'd make touchdowns and he'd do different things. I forget he was the wide receiver for Cincinnati Bengals back in the day. Ocho Cinco. Remember when he did that? He put the Hall of Fame jacket on. Well, almost the same thing, because Floyd had on there the WBC patch.
Right.
Yeah, like claiming that belt already. And I was truly impressed.
Okay. And then, so you saw young fighters, man. What do you see happening with this Ryan and Campbell fight?
I think it's a good test. I think Campbell's can easily pull the upset, but at the same time, Ryan feeds off the crowd. Ryan feeds off the platform, like all eyes on me, so to speak. So he's going to produce. And you know, you have Teofimo with a big W. You had Tank Davis with a big W, and now it's his turn. Now it's his turn to perform. He knows all eyes are on him, and he's going to go out there and produce. I don't think Campbell's going to fall for the feint, you know, to land that left hook. But a lot of questions are going to be answered after that fight, as far as Ryan Garcia taking a shot and Ryan Garcia having to dig down a little bit.
Yeah, and going. Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to seeing. Like I said, it answers all the questions. We've seen Haney. Haney kind of just controlled the Gamboa fight.
Yeah,
that wasn't a big deal. Do you think any of these dudes are going to meet up next year?
I think so, and I think the one that's going to control all that is going to be Teofimo Lopez, if he decides to move up or entertain all these champions at 135. Because again, he wants to move up to 140. But I spoke about the winner of the Ramirez and Josh Taylor fight. If he moves up, there's too much money on the table out there. You got the Tank Davises, you got the Ryan Garcias, and you know, you got some big names out there. If you leave that division, they may not follow you right off the gate. They're going to entertain that money on there. There's too much money on there to just get up and leave. And what I mean is, okay, Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez. When Jose Ramirez wins, and I'm choosing him to win, but the fight's not going to be as easy as all the Mexicanos think. I'm just going to keep that real and throw it out there. It's going to be a dog fight. This man isn't going to show up and say, okay, here's my belts, take it all. I'm going to give you my 0 too. He's not.
It's been how many months now? They've been training for each other?
Yeah, they've been training for each other. There hasn't been an exact date set yet. And that's because I believe they're ready to say a date, but his management team, they want the exact place to generate more numbers, more seats to watch that fight. And that's a great power move, and that's a great move right now. But Jose's itching to get back in there. Now what I mean is, when Jose wins, he wants to move up and chase the champions at 147. From what I'm hearing, I heard it from him himself. But if he doesn't entertain Teofimo Lopez, and I say Teofimo because he has all the bouts at 135, there's too much money, Shelly, on that table for that fight.
Right.
Too much money just to move up already.
And then if Jose goes up, then we're talking about the Crawfords, the Porters, the Garcia. I mean, shit, you know.
It's a whole different ball game up there.
Yeah, man. Love Jose too. Love Jose, but that's a big because I remember what was it last year? He was talking about the Crawford fight.
Yeah, he was talking about the Crawford fight, and you know, you got to be careful what you ask for. I mean, Crawford is a high-skilled fighter, but I admire the faith and I admire what Jose Ramirez wants to do. He's not saying, okay, I'm going after this other fighter, or hey, I'm going to go after the lesser fighter. He's pulling another, like when Mikey said, hey, I want to fight Spence when nobody else did. Jose has always mentioned Crawford from day one, period, from day one. So I can't help but respect that.
Oh, I'm in the same boat as you, man. And that kind of shit means something to me, because I don't know, did he see something? Does he feel a certain way? You know what I mean? What does that mean to him to keep calling for that, keep calling for it? Like, we seen what it meant to Teofimo.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what that means, Shelly. I mean, you see some guys out here with some production out there, and it's shitty. And yet they got the deals, they got the contracts, and you're going, what the hell on that commercial? I mean, as a videographer, you're going, bro, I can cut tape and do all this stuff that I need to do. I would have dropped it. So as a fighter, he's looking at the opponents in front of him, and he's probably having that conversation with himself and saying, I can do this, I can do that, because everybody does it. Shit, I'm gonna keep it real. I do it. I see guys ring announcing right now. I see guys color commentating from the big networks all the way down to the small networks, and I'm thinking, okay, what am I missing here? You know, do I got to date somebody's daughter? Do I got to go do this, or do I got to invest this way? I mean, I know, you know, give me the stick on the microphone, I'll be able to hold my own and then some, and bring out my personality and get that fighter, male or female, to relax and spill.
Yeah, nah.
So, I mean, so I'll say that that's what Jose's doing, looking back at the 147-pound division, saying, I cannot not just make waves here. I'm going to have the ocean pull down here, man, and I'm going to floodgate over here. So,
outside of Teofimo, right up under him, who else would you want to see him fight down low?
Teofimo or Jose?
No, Jose. Like, if he would fight Teofimo.
Well, if I had my pick, I'd like to see him retire Danny Garcia. That'd be a good fight. But I remember I asked Danny Garcia about Jose.
Hey, style-wise, that's a great fight.
Yeah, he's never been stopped. And also I like to see Jose with the before he gets any older. You know, he's still entertaining. Gosh dang it. About Billions.
Oh fuck! Hey, AB's been asking for that shit for years. I think it might have been on Ellie's thing. I think they were talking outside. Robert Garcia.
I like AB. I do.
Robert Garcia said, "Nah." He said, "Dude," he said, "Jose, I'll fuck you up." I remember he telling me that to his face. I was like, I believe that shit too, man.
I went for that fight to sign.
I was with Stokes today, my man. He been training me and shit with boxing.
Hey, yeah. How's that going?
It's good, man. I don't want to be just talking and not doing it. You know what I mean? So, like, one of us on the squad's got to be doing this shit.
Well, I know you've been doing something, because I know you do cardio. I know you get on the bike, and I was going to ask you about that. When you get on the bike, bro, what does that do for you? Is that your escape? Is that your high? Or is that just another sport out there that challenges you?
It is. It's both challenging. I want to do the triathlons this year, but it's like I just did 30 miles the other day, and it's a weird thing to be out there by yourself. It does I think a lot out there. But it's like you look down and you be like, oh shit, I'm at 18 miles. And be like, I'm gonna hit 20. And then depending on the type of person you are, like with me, I'm like, well, fuck it. Let me see if I can do 25. Then by the time I was at 24, I was like, let me just go for 30. You know what I mean? And then it's just like, it's a different thing, man, because you're just out there with the elements and shit, and no one can tell you to do it. So discipline, right? The big thing you get from it. And then you feel it the whole time. Your legs are fucking burning. So at any time you could just turn away, go home and stop. But nah, man, it's an escape. It's a way out the house, health. And it's just another way for, like, I got to always put myself in positions to convince myself I can do anything.
What's it like, that ride back?
Oh, man.
When you reach your 18 miles or you reach your 20, now I'm coming back.
So you get off your shit and then you start walking around and you can barely walk. And then you ask yourself the same question. Like, it's weird because maybe it's like this for boxing, but every time I do this shit, I'm like, man, why did I just go do that? Like, I could have did anything. And then I just did 30 miles, like, off the couch, you know? So I love that feeling, man. That shit just constantly challenging.
When you're doing it, are you doing it at a constant pace, speed?
Oh, yeah.
Or are you careful if there's traffic around, or you just go out where nobody's out there?
It's a little both, man. So I say it consists about 17 to 20 miles per hour is like my average pace. I stay in there, and then top speed's around like 31, 32. So.
Oh, damn.
Loving that shit, dude. I could probably ride to Fresno if I wanted to.
Yeah, you probably could, man.
Yeah, I could probably ride. It'll probably take me like 4 or 5 hours, but I can get out there though for sure.
Well, that's going to be the next thing. I'm going to say, ride your ass down here, man.
Yeah,
because you're always out there. You're out there making it happen, man.
Yeah.
On that.
Oh, that's what's up, dude.
And I noticed that when you're out there boxing and stuff, you took a picture of those blue shoes, man. What's up with that? They're comfortable, or what are they? What are they? Everlast, or what are they?
Man, it's Adidas, man. It's that Dodgers blue, that royal shit.
That's right.
All day. Oh yeah, I was like, I do, man. I went with him today, so he's a good dude. Great. Another thing too, one thing I like about boxing is you get a lot of families involved, you know?
Yeah.
It's not just the dad and his son. It's actually like his wife is a corner, the corner man as well. So they do everything for their boys, dude. And actually, I just got them to do a shout out for us today. I made the kids happy. They all stood together in their little sweatsuits. They're like, we're gonna be on the Fighters Voice. I was like, I think I can make it happen with Richard.
There you go, man. I mean, Shelly, how does it feel, man? Because you've always been behind the camera, man, and I've always told you, bro, you got to come over here. You got to come and do this. And right off the bat, it was going to be, I was going to start heading down there every Tuesday. And then I figured, well, I mean, let's grow, let's expand, and you're about to embrace this thing, man. I mean, and sky's the limit with it.
Right. It's creative control. I think that's always been my thing. It was like I started off in front of the camera. I got behind the camera because I remember one day sitting in like an editing room watching people put shit together, and I was like, man, these dudes are the real storytellers. They can they can like manipulate it wherever they want and really shape it. Look, so just like when we did the Camacho one, which is congratulations, little fist bump to my dude. We just clicked over the 15K mark past few weeks.
Yeah. And you know what? There's comments every single day. I mean, from all over the world. New York, you got Egypt, LA, and just and I love engaging with them, man.
You know what fucked me up about that? It was like, Camacho was around with HBO cable and like pay-per-view and shit like that. But imagine like these fighters and these kids, like these dudes got like social media. So like these people are really attached to the way they live. It's like everybody has they have control over their own reality show and shit. And it's crazy, but then I'll read the comments on there. I'm like, damn, people knew who Camacho was. Like,
yep.
It'd be like, I mean, like right now we got artists like Drake and all these big ass people, right? It's like, fuck, imagine if Michael Jackson had an Instagram and shit when he was young. Like, shit would have been bananas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? He would have been the first one possibly to have a pay-per-view on the phone, because he did a live concert but only on the phone. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He would have flipped the whole script. Him and Prince.
Okay, that shit, Prince refresh, it's crazy. Okay, phone, speaking of that, like it's always changing, elevation. We've seen this year because of like COVID and shit, we've seen like bubbles, we've seen like this Thriller and all that stuff, man. How did you personally feel about watching the transition of boxing, how it became like an entertainment spectacle now, like what Thriller has done, like, and the whole Roy Jones, Mike, Logan, Nate, how did you personally feel with someone that's grown up around boxing?
I thought finally, I said to myself, finally, because you got to bring entertainment, and they spiced it up. They took advantage of the whole, like it or not, here, ready or not, here we come. That's what that was.
Right.
Because I mean, I can't sit through Indy 500. I can't sit through all the golf, but when they have some entertainment or something, I'll catch it. Like, okay, but still to this day, I can't. And to be entertained, it was definitely something different. You had to be open-minded to it, and it worked. Because I've been told by a lot of promoters, concerts and events do not work. This one worked.
Worked, yeah.
It worked.
And I'm sure you talked to some other people that really work heavy in the industry and stuff like that. How did they feel about it? Like some friends, they're like old school cats.
Everybody liked it. I mean, what everybody talks about is the production and the lights. They said that was very well produced. It worked right off the gate.
The lighting shit, that stuff reminded me of like stuff that I would see with like K1. You know what I mean? Like they had like some whip pans, crazy. Even like when they would split at the bell, how like it would divide the lighting across the top. I was like, hey. I mean, I know it was a more intimate setting, so like the set was like staged for that particular thing, but I was like, dude, fucking leading forward, man. Boxing needs to get more creative with this shit.
It does. I mean, it worked. The only thing I can say that was kind of close to it, but when I was there, we were covering it live, and KP could tell you, Cole could tell you, is the first time Combate Americas came to Fresno. Oh, they had lights, they had entertainment, they had girls dancing, they had people singing, they had people from all over the world with the respect for flags everywhere, and it was like a real WWE explosion, but a event, but real, because there was monsters inside the cage. There was nothing scripted about that, but it was definitely an entertainment between fights. And they even kind of had like a big, I don't want to say a halftime show, but intermission before the main event. And it was explosions. It was cool.
That's why you said WWE. Man, that was the first thing I ever seen as a kid. First sporting, no. Actually, it was an A's game. And then the second thing I ever seen was a WWF came to town. That shit was it. Dude, were you ever a wrestling fan when you were a kid?
Absolutely. Hey, man, we had it down to, okay, check this out. I never really checked it out. I always watched the Hulk Hogan's when I was a little kid. And, everybody loved Hulk Hogan. But what most feel proud of is when you like a fighter, Shelly, or anybody before they blow up. You understand what I'm saying? Because we liked, was it the Legion of Doom? No, the Nation of Domination. We loved The Rock because he was just a little different. You know what I mean? And long story short, we brought Ken Shamrock to the school to talk to all high school kids at North Campus and at South Campus. Ken Shamrock back in the day came to my house. We had lunch.
Wait. Where was this at?
In Madeira.
Yeah. Okay. Keep going.
Yeah, I was out there hustling back then, anyways.
No, because Ken. It's funny you say that shit because when I was in high school here in Stockton, Ken Shamrock actually coached Lodi football team for
he did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and that shit tripped me out. I was playing DB and I was looking at the sign and I was like, "Fuck, that's fucking Shamrock, right?"
Yeah, he coached his son. Yeah.
That was crazy shit, dude. All right, go.
His dad's name's Robert, and his dad had a boys' home. And see, even though Ken Shamrock and Frank Shamrock, they look the same with the same physique. Yeah, I mean, they're adopted brothers from the home. Long story short, man, he came down, and before the UFC contract ended in the UFC, WWF signed him. So he sent me and Richie some tickets, right, to our house, and he gave us some extra ones. So the dad would tell me, "Hey, man, Ken's going to be on tonight." Mm-hmm. But we wouldn't always get that call. We would just have to watch it ourselves. So we didn't know when Ken Shamrock was going to come in. We had the recorder set and everything. So along the way, you're waiting for Ken to come on. You start watching and paying attention. You start grasping onto these characters, and The Rock was one of them, and we loved it. So whenever they would come down to Fresno, we'd go rent a room at the hotel next door. I want to say, what's the one with the waterfall? I think I told you about it before.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, check that out. So Richie was a big WWF.
Oh yeah, definitely. So we'd go rent a room there, right? And it used to be at Sound Arena, and right from Sound Arena, they'd come into the room, but they'll push everybody else out if you didn't have a room key. So Richie got to meet the fighters and so forth, and got to meet The Rock. He even dressed like The Rock, the People's Elbow. He had the eyebrow. Yeah, we dressed him up, man. And he did a TV interview, and it was cool, man.
That's dope, man. I know your son.
That's what thought.
Highlights. The
highlights. Oh yeah, definitely.
Undertaker and I just lost it, dude. He was my favorite and shit. If I ever was a professional boxer, my ring walk would be some Undertaker shit.
It would. Yeah. And you know what, Undertaker? It's he trained MMA, and he said a different life, man. He would have been right in the middle doing it.
That's crazy.
Now it is crazy because these guys, I mean, you got to remember, they're former football players. They're athletes. To do what they do, they don't go in there looking sloppy, man. Even the big guys, they're light on their feet. They're like a big cat.
Shamrock's last fight was what? Tito?
Shamrock's last fight. Oh my gosh.
Because I know one fought Diaz, but I think was it Tito? Well, I think that might have been the last one.
When he retired, I want to say yes, he fought Tito Ortiz. And I want to say, did he go out with a W? Did he fight after that?
No, he didn't go out with a W because he switched up his whole training. I remember that shit. He started to do something.
Yeah, because I remember he fought in Fresno, and they were trying to set up the Ken Shamrock Tank Abbott fight, and it just never came to pass.
Beast.
Yeah, it was beast, man. And that was just two different generations, man, of Ken Shamrock and then Tito Ortiz, man.
Fucking big dudes, man. We got some big news now. What fucking AJ won?
Oh yeah, my gosh, man. I mean,
okay, all right, no bullshit. How did he look to you?
Didn't have that killer instinct. Looked good with the opponent in front of him, but that Andy Ruiz fight took a lot out of him.
I think so too.
Definitely it did.
I think Andy's haunting his ass. I think him finding out he could be touched has changed the way he fight, man. Because those fights both look safe to me. These last two.
Yeah.
Calculated. I don't think that shit's gonna happen with fucking Fury. That did just
no.
I love AJ. You know what I like about AJ?
That fight won't go 5 rounds, man. Fury, get him out of there.
Fury gonna get out. I love AJ's entire aura. Like that's the idea of what you would want in someone in his position. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But fucking who's in the ring right now? Unless he digs deep, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit, it's gonna be a bad outcome.
There was only one Muhammad Ali, and it worked for him, being a great boxer in the heavyweight division. But to sit there and trade with somebody, especially when they don't really want to trade with you deep down, I mean, it's going to take a lot of velocity, even off your punches, man, unless you get the guy hurt and then, you turn into that natural dog. But Tyson Fury showed against the Deontay Wilder fight that he doesn't need to go the distance or get a late round knockout. He proved that he can be the bully in there. And I can see him not letting up on AJ just because the longer it goes, you don't want to give any fighter any type of of confidence at all. I see Tyson Fury just imposing his will. That fight's not even going to be close. That's why they're so hesitant. I mean, why wouldn't you want to make that? That's worth millions, man. I mean, that's a big gate wanting to happen, and they can go let it happen in the UK. But Tyson Fury gets him out of there.
Yeah, I think for AJ, that's where the scary part is, because like that shit is like, now what? Because they did the baby fight, which led to him fucking with Andy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that was to avoid Wilder. So it's like, if you get smacked by Fury, then you don't want Wilder. Now you don't want Fury again. I think that puts AJ in a weird ass spot. Now Wilder's been quiet. He ain't taking no tune-ups. He ain't entertaining no shit. What you think is going through his mind?
You know what, man? He needs to come within peace within himself. Because you're talking about a man who never lost in his life. Some things happened to him in that corner that he doesn't agree with. It might have been the best thing to happen to him, but you know, some fighters they want to be carried off, man. They don't want that towel. They don't want that stoppage. But you know what? I respect the corner, and I think that was a great stoppage. I didn't see any change in momentum getting ready to happen. When a man starts bleeding in his ear, two things have happened, man. I mean, okay, we'll say the eardrum pop, but there's maybe some bleeding in your brain or inside. We don't know. There's no CAT scan going on. There's no doctor looking in right now. So out of your nose is one thing because you got popped in your nose, but I'm always concerned when it's the side of the head. And, you know, there was some damage took there. And now it's just emotionally, and now it's mentally. He needs to get back in there, doing what he does best. I still think if he fights AJ right now, you're going to hear the words "and new," or once again, the heavyweight champion of the world.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, what is there for AJ? Because he didn't, not AJ, but for Wilder right now. Because yeah, he wants Fury or AJ, right? Those two are getting on the line.
Those two, you know what? I'd take another fight. I can see him fighting Andy Ruiz.
I can see that, but it's like he fought everybody. Like he didn't. It's not like he picked them.
No, and he was very active, very active. He didn't. It was rare that he took months off.
His whole thing was like, who's next, and I want the best.
Well, he proved a lot when he fought ORTIZ again in the rematch, because even though he won the first one by knockout, he was fighting on wits alone. There was a couple times he looked out on his feet, but to get back in there and get the man out of there and want to share the ring with him again, that takes a lot of balls, man.
Yeah, you tapped on that shit. He did look like that with King Kong, right? And then he also looked like that a couple in both fights against Fury. That shit made me wonder, like, as much as we've seen Deontay knock people out, can he not take a punch himself? Because I've seen him get wobbly a few times.
Well, that's been the whole thing. That's been the whole chin thing. That's been the whole chin thing with Tommy the Hitman Hearns, who can dish it out, but rarely can take it. You know, any man. But you know, again, this is the heavyweight division, so I'll give him credit. Any man with a 200-pound pressure of a punch, and a mammoth of a man who's actually punching down. I mean, come on, man. The human brain, the skull, the jaw can only take so much velocity coming your way.
And in that division, right? 200 plus, everything's heavyweight.
Yeah.
So you get down now to like welterweights and shit like that. People will bitch over like, 3 to 5 pounds, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you're Wilder, like this dude has fought people easily 50, 60 pounds heavier than him. So how much of that, you know what I mean? Like how much of this shit now is like skill, power? How much is this weight really making a difference? Because when you get into the heavyweight division, a lot of that shit gets eliminated because you can't bitch at a dude that comes in 40 pounds heavier than you. No,
you can't. And see, he has such a skinny frame. He really can't gain too much weight. Where's he going to put it? I mean, his metabolism's so high. I seen the man, you know, get ready to eat some pizza the week of, but he's a heavyweight. He can. You know, Tyson Fury, I'm going to talk about Tyson Fury real quick. I give him props for jumping back in the ring with him. I mean, he was 1 second away from going to sleep. The first plan didn't work. He figured, okay, I'm going to outbox this guy. But to change your game plan, put more weight on and say, you know what, I'm going to engage. I'm going to get him out of there. Yeah. He put the weight on for one reason, and he put the weight on well.
Nice.
I mean, when I saw him in person, he looked trim to me. He didn't look all, you know, just because you don't see him all cut up and all chiseled. He looked good. I mean, he looked very tall. He looked professional, and he was very poised, man. And he baited Deontay at the press conference, at the weigh-ins, got in his head. He's a genius, man. And when it comes to, I don't want to say spiritual warfare, but just mental warfare with his fighters, an absolute genius.
But there you go again with that's bouncing back to what we were saying. Like, dude, he fucking promotes himself.
Absolutely, man. He does. And you never know what's going to come out of his mouth, man. He doesn't care.
And yeah, I guess that's where I go back to that Bob shit. Like, fuck, I mean, it is a hard thing. You got cats like him that does it for himself. Teofimo does it for himself. And then you got cats that are just low key. They're saying like, nah, motherfucker, my job is a fighter. Your job is to promote me. For me personally, I would be self-promoting Shelly.
Anyways, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
The window of opportunity, man, and how long the light gonna be shined on you and shit, man. I'd be dancing in my own shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, dude. I'd be 100% promoting myself.
When you're one of those names, your platform never gets turned off. Your platform is 24/7. If you're walking into a grocery store, putting gas or getting therapy, whatever it is, your platform never turns off.
No.
You got to make and create that opportunity 24/7, especially with social media, man.
Well, yeah, because these guys, I mean, like say you even look at, you go back not too far ago with like the De La Hoyos and Shane Mosleys and shit like that. They did not have this option. Like you have to physically run into those dudes in person to have interaction. And most of the time, shit, you had to have a fucking Kodak camera to even catch that shit, then go to Walgreens and hope the motherfucker came out clear. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly, man. I remember like, okay, I'm trying to put the spool on, but I don't want the light hitting it. And I'm thinking, okay, it didn't click right, but I don't want to open it up now because there's a couple pictures that are on there. Come on, man. So, you know, again, when do the batteries go out? You know what I'm thinking? But one thing about Oscar De La Hoya, and I'll say this real quick, he changed the sport of boxing, man. Because of him, women now attend boxing. Oscar De La Hoya, he changed the whole sport of boxing. And he invited women. Women took over. It was more women than men at his fights.
Yeah, Ryan Garcia's taking the same fucking role.
Exactly, he is.
Yeah, De La Hoya was that, dude. I do remember that shit, man. Sitting at like going to a couple of my friends' house, my Mexican friends and shit, right? That was about the only. No, they love fucking Chavez too, but girls fucking love De La Hoya.
Yep.
The only other atmosphere in a house I've been to that's fucking more exciting is being in a Filipino house when there's fucking Ponce, there's Manny Pacquiao on TV, there's fucking alcohol, some Johnny Walker, Filipinos.
Oh shit,
dude, that shit is the best. That shit, like, even my girlfriend at the time when I was in Canada, man, they bought me jackets and shit from the Philippines. I had all kinds of bootleg Nike. I had fucking red, white, yellow, and blue fucking track jackets on for days, bro. I had all the bootleg shit. But when he fucking got hit, the whole house was burning. The whole house.
Yep.
Oh, fuck you. Okay. You Pacquiao right now. Your only two options are Spence and fucking Crawford. Who you rolling with?
Oh, well, the easier fight to make. And that's Spence. I mean, yeah.
You think there's a little fuck you and Manny's team towards Aaron for not taking that fight with Crawford?
That could be it too.
I mean, come on, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like,
but PBC would say, hey, let's go across the way and take their champion. But you know what? Manny calls the shots. Manny fights whoever he wants to fight when he wants to fight. Plain and simple. Period. The magnitude of that man. I mean, we see him as a fighter, but it wasn't until on the way home after we did an interview with him, it started to hit. Bro, that was the senator of the Philippines. And I'm sitting right next to the man. And it was so cool, down to earth.
And that's what I was wondering. I'm wondering, like, fuck, because he said it's a little fuck you to Bob Around. He's like, and then is this a little passing of the torch? But I don't see Manny going out like that. I don't think Manny takes anything for a money grab at this point and try to lose. I think that dude is trying to go. I think he tries to fight the best and win. Like, that's just the kind of man he is.
I think his team is probably going to take the Spence fight only because Spence has hinted about moving up. And Manny's not going to go move up. Manny's going to stay at 147.
Yeah.
That'll probably be, I see that fight happening. Actually, him and Mikey Garcia, it was supposed to happen, but this whole COVID hit.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. That was what was rumored, and that was what
that would have been
placed.
That'd been fucking interesting.
It would have been for legacy. It would have been a good, you got two fight fans. You got Mexicanos and you got the Filipinos.
Yeah, that'd have been a good watch.
Yeah. Hey, let me share this with you because you talked about the Philippines. I had a Philippine buddy of mine, man. He invited me to go watch the fight at his house. So I remember I took my kids. Bro, it was like when the Mexicans would watch Julio Cesar Chavez. When I was I was talking to him, I said, okay, because where do I find it at? And they go, okay, there's a basketball court in front. I go, oh, okay. I said, I see a couple Manny Pacquiao's outside. You know what I mean? But I was in there, bro. I mean, every punch, I mean, they're clapping. It was like a performance there, man. They had a table of spread of food. They had different rooms in there with the TV on there. And after Manny would commentate, being interviewed, everybody was like clapping, like if he was there in the house. they take it to another level, bro.
I'm telling you, that shit was real for me, man. I was like, oh, like I want to, you know, what was fucked up. So I was up there, right, with my lady and her family and shit, and just being a brother, dog. I'm gonna keep it fucking real. I supported Timothy Bradley, you know, but I felt very awkward in that fucking house.
Hey man, I mean,
and you know what made it even worse? When fucking Timothy Bradley clearly lost, even in my heart, and that motherfucker's hand was raised to see the disappointment, right? And then I'm like, I'm over there supporting my people and shit because it matters. And I was like, fuck, dude, I just felt awkward, you know what I'm saying? But no, I love this shit. I want to see some cool fights, man. Pacquiao's the fucking man.
I know. I remember that fight.
Thank you for introducing me to fucking Sean. That guy is super cool.
Oh yeah.
Now that is way past the point. Let me tell you guys. This was during the fights in Stockton. Sean told us in the back room. He said, "Hey, whatever." Can I tell this story?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like he was like, "Hey, Rich, I got something for you. Good guy, blah blah blah." All the compliments this dude receives and shit, right? And then he was like, "Hey, fucking yeah. Hey, get ready for this one, man. Pacquiao and Thurman are gonna fight, right?" No one knew shit. And I'm looking at this dude right here. I'm like, "Rich, you gonna say something?" Rich, I'm not gonna say nothing, man. He's like, people tell me stuff all the time. I'm like, man, this is fucking breaking news. And like a month later, that shit went viral.
I was still testing the wall. I wanted to say, like, okay, is he telling me this because he wants to be able to trust me, or what does he want to do? Do I get the green light? Right. And I mean, you live and learn. I mean, to this day, he still sends me stuff, man. I mean,
he was trying to tell you to tell the story. The little fucking dog he has.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Woody. Woody was telling me.
Woody was like, tell the fucking story, dude. And you were still chilling. I was like, yeah,
he was on.
I'd have been
See, what a lot of people don't know, bro, is that Woody is real. First of all, let me tell you, I've been there when the guy. I mean, I've been standing next to him in the restroom, and you know he's standing up using the urinal, bro. And I'm serious, bro. I mean, he'll say, Rich, can you give me a hand? Because you know the flusher's up here. So you know I flushed it for him, and you know he's over there BSing with me, and he's telling me, you know, it's tough on the road, you know, and he asked if I knew any single women, you know, about maybe 7 inches tall. And I said, hey, I'll look out for you and see what I could do, and we'll take it from there. And then you know what he says too? He goes, hey, man, you want me to tell you what Sean does? I go, no, I already know. I go, but he goes, yeah, let me know, bro.
Yeah, that shit tripped me out. I just kept looking at that fucking doll. I was like, man. But
the first time I saw it, it was in Fresno. I was like, what the?
Fuck, yeah, that's how I was the whole time.
It had chains on it and everything, bro.
Yeah, he got some fucking beanie and shit. Like, I was like, what the fuck? And, you know, like, I was like, country, hood, shit, whatever. But Jerwin put on a show that night.
Yeah, he did.
That is, yeah, man, I can see great things coming for that. I actually just watched some shit where he was in LA training. I was like, oh, he looks sharp.
Yeah. Sean sent me some videos. Actually, he talked about getting Jerwin on the show. And I said, absolutely. I love the challenge, and also working with an interpreter. And,
yeah.
I got no problem with that. And, you know, I want to thank Khetphet for that, because a lot of, when we were out there doing some interviews, man, including myself at times, I just wasn't sure, but all the media, they shied away from all the interviews with all the Chinese, all the Koreans, the Vietnamese, and whatever. And Khetphet goes, hey, go get that interview. So I just said, hell, let's go. So I learned to work with an interpreter, and when to look at them, when to look at the subject, and when to look at the camera, you know, and everybody else shied away. And we're the only ones that got that interview from all of them from top to bottom. So, yeah.
Oh, that's good, man.
No, it is good. I mean, you got to challenge yourself too, man. At first I was like, dude, are you serious? And I said, okay, hell with it. Let's go. I just wanted to remember his name, because I do not want to chop up anybody's name. And just, it was on the job training, man. And it worked out very well. And see, the first time we did it, I want to say it was in Fresno with the German Cajas. And then, you know, we just kept going from there. And that's where Sean liked me. There's the first time that he saw me. Yeah. I met him in Fresno. He said, who is this guy? And he asked about me, and gave me a compliment. And the rest is history, man. I mean, because he meets people all the time, man. But we were able to click. And just what he's done for me, man, knowing the whole story with Richie, has all his fighters. You know, Manny Pacquiao wasn't the only one. Had all his fighters give a shout out, make videos, get a text 3 o'clock in the morning. And you know, when I first saw that Manny Pacquiao, I'm like, am I still asleep? I mean, you know, it was moving. It was emotional, you know, and it was awesome, man. That's a good dude right there. That's probably one of the coolest dudes I've ever met in this industry, man. And that's a real dude right there. when everybody was going up there to try to even just get a glimpse of Manny, Sean made it happen. And I'm looking for my photographer. I'm looking for our video guy, KP. I'm going right here. And Sean just reassuring, he goes, Richard, I got it. He's coming. Like, I got it. Don't worry about it. I'm the one that says who comes up and whatnot. And we even ran into a small roadblock, says, hey, Rich, I don't know. And I said, well, I'm with Sean. And she said, well, if Sean said it's okay, then it's okay.
Yeah.
And it happened. That's a good dude right there, man.
Is that the same time you got the Cotto interview? Or was that different?
I got the Cotto interview before Manny Pacquiao. And actually,
was Cotto fighting Floyd that time? No, who was he fighting around that time?
This was his farewell fight in New York City. Actually, it was Marie. Freddie was cornering a fighter in Fresno. I'm not sure if the breakup was already there with Jose or not, or if she was, or if he was still cornering Jose. It was back then. And as she's leaving, she goes, hey, Rich, you got to come down. You got to get some interviews with, no, she goes, you got to come down. Miguel Cotto's leaving wild card. It's going to be his last week soon. So I just went right to, I go, can you get me the one-on-one with him? And she goes, come down, Rich, and I'll make it happen. And she made it happen. I mean, she treats me and gives me some opportunity like no other. Introduced me to the PR person from Golden Boy. When there's a long line, she goes, hey, Rich, come here. And actually, the back parking lot, there's everybody parked in there. We happen to park in there. There's press, there's media. And she says, she goes, Richard, are you parked back here? And I didn't want to lie to her. I said, yeah. So she goes, can I have everybody's attention, please? She goes, anybody that's parked back here besides Richard got to move your car. And they all moved their car. I'm like maybe 10th in line. And she goes, Richard, come up to the line, and just took me in front of everybody, man.
Nah, he's cool, man. She's always been solid, man.
People, man.
Solid, man. Yeah, you got some good ones.
She is solid, man. I mean, Marie, Freddie, yeah, they've all treated us.
Stories too. You know what? I'm gonna find some shit for you to post on Instagram. I think I got some stuff from the Vargas fight. When let's
do it, man.
I got some shit, some clips for you to post, you guys. So stay tuned. But yeah, Freddie tells some funny ass shit. Yo.
Oh, he does, man.
I like that dude.
Even when he was fighting, and he was telling one reporter, he says, yeah, they call me Irish. He goes, I'm not Irish, I'm Canadian. He goes, but it sold more tickets. And he was telling the story. And we go down to his store where there's an original fight poster of his. It's in a frame, it's in a glass. Marie takes it off of there, says, here, Richard, happy birthday. Because I told the story, it was like, what do you want for your birthday? I said, if I could have anything, I want to go to Wild Card Gym. And a 15-minute introduction, it was supposed to be 15 minutes, turned into 3 hours.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's where I first went down there, man. And it was cool. Nice people there, man. Completely class act from top to bottom.
Dope. Any insights on anything popping off in Fresno this next year?
Man, yeah, I know there's gonna be a new promotion team out there in Fresno in 2021.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, it's gonna be homegrown, man. They're gonna do some 4-rounders and 6-rounders, and basically a platform, and they're possibly gonna be working with some Mikey Garcia promotions.
Okay.
And, yeah. And maybe some of Andy Ruiz's fighters as well, and maybe some of Jamal Herring's fighters as well, because a lot of times these fighters, they invest, they got their own stable. So, yes, sir.
With Mikey not being contract, has there been any words on how many fights that dude's still willing to take before he just steps into his new role?
Well, I mean, this whole COVID thing is on hold, but I know he's going to go into camp in January. So he decided to call this year a wrap because
I see him on Instagram. He's looking happy right now.
Yeah, he was. He's enjoying himself.
Yeah, he's looking happy. He look like he's chilling. He's probably in the gym, but he ain't sweating. You know what I mean? Yeah, he looks happy right now. I was like, dude, you earned this shit, man. All this shit he's done.
Oh man, I mean,
man, I see him with his cars.
Oh
man.
Yes, exactly. I mean, the man, he is happy right now. I mean, he got his own promotion company. He's giving back.
He's giving back, exactly, man. Throwing fights and shit, and it's at a point where he's still a superstar and he's doing that.
He told a story once. He didn't tell me the story, but he was telling an artist a story. It was a rap artist. And he was saying, hey, man, do you ever get into fights or something? Or if you do get into fights, what should I do? This guy's doing this. And Mikey goes, what are you talking about? He's, well, this guy, if I'm at a party and this guy starts talking smack, blah, blah, blah. And Mikey says, then you hit him. He goes, I just hit him? He goes, the fight already started. The minute he started talking shit to you, the fight already started.
Hey, that's some good ass advice, though.
You hit him.
Yeah, that's some good ass
advice. It already started. Don't wait for him to push you. Don't wait for him to hit you first. It already started. He's talking shit to you in your face. The fight started. And I just thought like, wow.
Any of Robert's fighters remind you of Robert?
Let me see. Maybe that's a tough one, man.
You know what I mean? It's like I think like because I went back and watched some of Freddie Rich's fights and I just turned that shit off. I'm like, fuck that. Right. But Freddie's cool. And I like Freddie now. Like I like the Freddie I know, the corner man, the trainer.
No. I don't
exactly. Jive with that dude too much. You know?
I will say one. Probably. I mean, that's his brother, Mikey. Yeah, and Mikey sets traps. Mikey is a very smart fighter.
Oh yeah, that's why it was weird to watch him think when he was fighting Spence, because I never seen Mikey think like that. Usually, you kind of just see him bounce and then shit happens, pop, 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 pop. But it was like weird to see him resetting. I was like, what the fuck? Spence
had one gear that night. Spence became great that night. That fight, a lot of people talk about, okay, it was a mismatch. It shouldn't have happened. Oh. That fight helped Spence big time.
Oh, yeah, because Mikey's boxing is fucking stupid. When you see Mikey in other fights besides that one, everything leading into that, you were like, that's why it was weird to see. You were like, this shit ain't happening. Like, Mikey's fucking phenomenal. And it was just, that's what trips me out with Spence, because he even with Danny, he just made that shit look. He jabbed his way through a fucking fight, took shots, and just kept moving forward.
Hey man, right from the first opening bell, he just applied that pressure like no other. Didn't take a backward step.
It weirds me out about him. He just goes forward. As smart as he boxes, I'm like, I've never seen nobody do that shit. Just one line through people, and then fucking even with Sean, that shit, he fought Sean like Sean.
These fighters, all of them are on the verge of greatness, but they need to share the ring with each other to call themselves great. I mean, it's right there. You know, even though they're with a different promotion company, Crawford doesn't need to say, I want to fight Spence. Shit, he showed up to the fight. What more do you want? Spence fought. Crawford was there. He never shows up to a fight. He rarely going out there. He showed up thinking he's going to be called out. Nothing happened. Crawford is going to move on now.
Yeah, these kids don't do that shit. That shit's fucking weird.
No, man. But I tell you, one person who did back in the day was Hector Macho Camacho. He called them all out. He even called out Larry Holmes, man. He did. He said, "You guys can get it, all of you guys." He goes, Holmes, all of them.
Hey, you know, when he was younger, he was more fucking New York about it. Then when he got older, he started slipping up like the shit in Vegas.
Yeah.
I heard you. You can't roll the motherfucking R in this situation, homie.
yeah, exactly. But
you know what I mean? You gotta keep it masculine or feminine, but you can't roll your tongue in this situation.
No,
Macho did it. Hey, all of us goes. That shit stopped for a while, man. But another person in this seat of like they're very victorious and they're great, but they need to start fighting motherfuckers that's ready for them is Canelo. And I gotta say that shit. Canelo is fucking.
You know what? Let's talk about this. And this is
Mayweather all the way. He is doing exactly what Floyd Mayweather has done.
Exactly.
People up. He's fucking up people like dude he just did that's decorated somewhere else that ain't on his fucking level. And that's what Floyd did best too. You know what I mean?
And see, here's the whole thing, man. And it's going to get sensitive here. You know, when I mentioned these fighters that Canelo can fight, it's not so I think they can beat him. It's that he would be challenged. And what I get from the Canelo fans is that, oh, well, this fighter needs to fight more before he's worthy enough to get a shot at Canelo. Bro, this is fucking boxing. You lace him up and you're a world champion? And what do you mean?
And then
he's just a fighter. He's not God.
Going up and down, but it's like, and then and it's a little Roy Jones Jr.-ish with the way shit is going, you know? There's certain champions at a certain weight you could fuck with, but the other champion, not to. But
I want to see him and David Benavidez. Period. I want to, and I also want to see him and Plant.
Yeah,
Charlie. Him and Saunders. There's a lot of fights out there.
I'm saying he has a lot of fucking fights that got even if you don't want to take those next, take Triple G 3 and then move on to those fights. But take all those fucking all those names we just named. Take all of those.
Here's my prediction. If he fights Triple G, it's not going to end nice for Triple G. That fight will not take place at 160. They'll compromise on a weight. It'll be a catch weight of 164 pounds. Canelo cannot. He's not going to make 160 anymore. It's just not going to happen. No, he'll come down to 164.
Solid, yeah, he's solid.
No, exactly. And yeah, if that fight happens again,
I like to see him go Billy Joe first, get that going, and then Benavidez. But Charlo, like soon, that too. Got to see that.
Absolutely. And these are guys that are daring to be great. For one reason or another, people hate them, but they're afraid to fight them. They get in there. Get in there. Let's see what you're truly made of. There's a lot of fights there, man, and they're not being made. 2021. We're gonna help make these fights happen, Shelly.
Yeah, because Kovalev, we know where he was. Sergio was always he was who he was, but that shit after war, that shit was all downhill. That shit was all down. That's the thing. That was like another name you can just knock off. But
well, that's another one as far as talking about respect. You're talking about a lot of people thought that the Crusher won that fight, and Ward caught a right hand and got up. Now, I can't help but admire a man who's ready to get back in there with that monster, correct the what he needed to correct, change the game plan, as if to say, I know deep down in my heart that wasn't me. I know what I'm capable of.
That shit was
gave him a boxing lesson, a slugging lesson, and that particular fight, and that's the only fight that I will say to date, and I'll let Andre know too when I talk to him again. He was mean in that fight. He was a bully in that fight. He was possessed in that fight.
His technique, everything was like
everything. He was mean in there.
I was at that fight. I went there in Oakland. That shit was crazy. Flawless, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah, Ward, man. Yeah. Hey, good. Hey, speaking of that, what a fucking congrats to this Hall of Fame year, though.
Absolutely, absolutely.
The names that are going in this year, that's like for me, Peyton Manning and Charles Woodson are two of my favorite players. They got drafted the same year, retired the same year.
Here's my thing, Shelly. Ward has made it very clear, hasn't hinted even exhibitions that he is retired. So therefore, his name should go in there. My concern was with Floyd Mayweather, because he's still hinting at coming back and so forth. Now, his name being in there, that's a no-brainer. His name's not going to be in there and you not vote for it. You're going to vote for it. But during that time, the one person who made it clear that I'm done fighting and he didn't get in this time was Miguel Cotto.
Yeah. I
mean, he should have gotten in, and that's no knocks against Floyd. It's just Floyd's not done fighting.
Right.
I mean, exhibition or not, they can call it entertainment or not. He's earned that platform, earned that right to do whatever the hell he wants to do now.
Yeah.
And you know what? These haters, they're going to love it. They're going to buy it, and they're going to watch it.
Oh, fuck yeah. Come on, man. That shit that's about to go down in February. This Logan Paul Floyd shit.
Yeah. Yep. It's about to go down, man. But I'm telling you, what I'm really looking forward to is the new collaboration, the new show in Stockton, California, with Eric Hernandez, and you guys need to have a soft opening, man, at the end of December. Start collabing together, make that happen, and just drop the bomb on everybody, bro. Because sky's the limit. Eric's excited. He's ready to drop some knowledge, man. Yeah, iron sharpens iron, man. And just the expansion of the fighter's voice, man. And just being able to know that, you know, we receive the phone calls from the vice president of Combate Americas, certain people, promoters. And I'm not name dropping. I'm just letting you know people are starting to recognize and most of all respect on what's going on.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. But I will keep it real. Like Lee Samuels, he'll call you at 2 o'clock in the morning, bro, and just want to talk boxing.
Tell me shit all the time, so we have these conversations. Yeah,
it's all good, man. I mean, I'm sure it is what it is, man. Don't take it personal. Do not take it personal.
That's the motto. That's the fucking motto right there.
Yep, and it's the punches you don't see.
I
like that one.
Yeah, I got you.
I like that one.
All right, well, shit.
Okay, anything you want to drop before we sign off, baby? What you got?
I'm good, man. I'm chilling. I'm only excited to hang out with my daughter the next couple of days. That's it, dude.
You know, I want to talk to you just real quick about that, man. When you took that picture with the belt, you could have taken that picture by yourself with the belt, but you shared it with what was bigger than the belt to you with your daughter. And bro, that was an awesome picture. Who took that picture of you guys? Because you can't be a videographer and a photographer and doing your own shit, right?
Buddy Marcel, man, he works in the office too.
Okay.
To do, but yeah, it was just that exactly. Like one day, like I don't know, it's different now, right? And maybe, like with having a little girl, like I don't know, she can be the vice president or she can be a UFC champion.
Yes.
if I'm gonna take cute pictures with her and little ballet shit, then I'm gonna take a UFC picture. And my daughter takes jujitsu right now, so yeah. I don't know what she's gonna be. Whatever she's gonna be, I'm a supporter. I might be her corner man. I don't know, or I might be doing her fucking political commercials. I don't know, but that's my baby. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, either way, she's gonna be able to throw hands.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I good. And then she just started playing video games, and then her favorite game is Street Fighter right now. I'm like, you're really my kid. Like, this is crazy. I was your dad's shit. So it's not like I'm putting her on Mario because she's a girl. Like, nah, we're playing Street Fighter, and then she's getting socked up. So it's cool.
That's cool. You won't have it any other way, man.
We're at houses and we play Street Fighter, man. She has range. I got a perfect little chick, dude. That's it. So yeah, that's it. I'm not leaving that, man. I'm just ready to see my kid's face with all these little gifts and this holiday time and just chill with her. And then as soon as 2021 hits, I'm ready to fuck all you guys up because we're taking over.
We're taking over, man. And we got so many different topics that are going to be dropping. We're going to be talking about when and where to take a selfie. How are you going to present yourself? Don't betray yourself to be one thing and you're another. Being a man of your word. The new fighters that are out there. I mean, we've got some great topics that are coming up, man. It's not just rankings. It's real life stuff.
Yeah, fighters, you guys look out for us, man. I'm going to be reaching out to a lot of you guys. I'm going to really give you guys a platform with a lot of mini documentaries we want to shoot on you guys. So a lot of style, a lot of flair, just embracing who you guys are. So instead of having to get to that point where you got to wait for Showtime to give you a little 24/7, you're going to get that shit here with the Fighter's Voice, man. So we're going to take care of you guys.
That's right. The only voice that matters, baby, all day long.
For sure.
Well, Shelly, I started talking to Shelly, and now I'm talking to King Shell right now. That's what I'm talking about. So I gotta make sure I get in the studio, man, and make that happen, and share those refreshments, and we'll make it happen.
I was kidding.
Hey, anybody gets offended, don't take it personal.
Don't take it personal.
Don't take it personal, baby.
All right, Rach, man. Thank you.
Well, you know what, man? Thank you for coming on the show. And I'm sure we'll be talking later on, probably tomorrow or something. I may give you a call later on when I get my clown on and I start celebrating. But hey, like always, man. Hey, it's a wrap. Thumbs up for Richie.
Okay, fight fans, it's not goodbye, but until next week. Remember, it's always voiceography at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz, Cole Escovedo, the special guests, and all the crew right here at the Kick-Ass Podcast, saying hasta luego, babies. And always